Now we're doing lesson 7.11, use a protractor to draw angles. Draw these angles. It says draw a line that is neither vertical nor horizontal. So vertical is up and down, horizontal is left to right. So what is our only option then? Harbor? What's it called? Diagonal. Yep. So our only choice wants us to draw a line. So Macy, what has to be on the ends? Arrows. So we're gonna draw a line that is diagonal. So on your paper, use your protractor as a straight edge and draw a diagonal line. Do that now. Use your protractor for a straight edge. Don't just draw a line, use your protractor as a straight edge. Okay, then it says put a point somewhere on that line. Okay, so I'm going to put a point somewhere on the line. I'm going to put mine right there. Then it says use your protractor to draw a perpendicular line through that point. Be as precise as possible. Okay, so watch this real quick and then I'm going to have you do it. This is how you make sure they're perpendicular. So perpendicular form what size angles? What
Right.
size?
Right.
What size?
90.
90 degrees. Okay. So I'm going to put this point, the middle of my straight side of my protractor, on this point. And then I'm going to make sure that the other end of my line is sticking out from the 90. And then that will allow me to take my pen and draw down this and form right angles. Okay? So, just like that. Okay, so this is a right angle. This is a right angle. This is a right angle, and that's a right angle. All four of those angles that we just made are right angles. That's wide and that's little. So you need to straighten it out more. So when you do this, you need to make sure the other, so it needs to be straight across there. So, does that make sense? Okay, looks good. I'm going to check these over. Looks good. It's okay. Yep. Looks good. Looks good. Very nice. Very neat. Okay, see how this is a little skinny and this is a big wide? What you need to do is line your protractor up so that the other end of it is on 90. Now draw straight across. Okay, so erase those other ones. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Nope. Okay, so do you see here you've got a skinny one and a wide one. So what you need to do with your protractor, you need to put it on your point and make sure that it's pointing straight up to 90 and go straight across there. So go ahead and draw your line against your protractor. Okay, now erase and see how this one forms right angles with that. Okay. Didn't I have you do it when I was over here?
Yeah.
Look at what Harbor did. Show her what yours look like. That's what it's supposed to look like. Okay. Okay, see how this is a little narrow angle and that's a big wide one. Those are not perpendicular. So you're going to put your protractor on your point and make sure the arrow is pointing directly at the 90. Now you trace your protractor. Get rid of this and this. Good. Okay. All right. Everybody have 4 right angles now? Okay. Here's what I want you to do, Cameron. Okay. So now I see how the protractor's pointing up at this 90, or how the ray is. I want you to take your pencil and draw along that protractor. Straight against it. Now erase the other ones that you have. Did you get it, Athena? Okay. All right. Here's a ray that starts at the point M. We're going to use a protractor to draw a ray starting at point M to create a 40-degree angle. Okay. So we're going to, you know how your protractor is hollow in here, Emma? That's going to help us to use our protractor to draw angles. So what you're going to do is set your protractor where the bottom, the point, I'm going to call him Bob. Okay? So this is Bob. You guys see on my protractor this red spot? You see it? That's what I keep lining up with the vertex, this red spot. Do you see it? Okay. I keep trying to say I keep getting twisted up on my words when I'm trying to say this. So when I say, look at Bob, or line Bob up with the vertex of your angle, that's what it means. Don't work ahead of me, please. Okay. All right, so here we go. We line up Bob with the M. Bob goes on top of M, and then I line up the Bob at the straight side with the straight ray, and I'm looking for 40. There's 2 40s on this protractor. There's a 40 right here and a 40 right here. For now, we're going to draw dots at both of the 40s. So since I can't draw on my TV, I'm going to do it right here so you guys can see. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw point M and a ray. So here is my point. Okay. So that's what we're starting with, right? Okay, you guys don't draw that. You already have one in your workbook right here. Okay, and we're going to start at point M. So Bob goes on point M and lines up with that ray. And then we're going to draw a dot inside our protractor at the 40 and the 40. When you're done, you should have 2 dots that are at the 40. Do that now. So put Bob, that's Bob right there, on the M. And then do you see you've got it upside down. Okay, so do you see the 40s on this thing? 40, 40. You're going to take your pencil. Make sure and don't move your protractor and draw a dot at the 40 right here and the 40 right here. Okay? Now, which one do if I've got a dot right here and a dot right here, which one do I connect to M to make a 40-degree angle? Well, think. If I do the first one, is that going to make a 40-degree angle? No. Yes. If I do the second one, is that going to be a 40-degree angle? No, that's gonna be a big one. So I'm going to connect use your protractor to connect the dots so it's straight, as a straight edge. So just like this, I'm gonna put my protractor where the two dots are connected and connect them, make an angle. And this angle is how many degrees? 40 degrees. So I'm gonna label it with 40 degrees. The next thing it says to do is we're gonna make a 20-degree angle on top of this one. So we're gonna start at M again, and this time we're gonna put Bob right here at M, but we're gonna line the bottom of our protractor up with the bottom of the line we created. What are we looking for? What number? 20. So there's a 20 right here, and there's a 20 right here. So if I connect these two, is that going to make a 20-degree angle?
No. Yes.
From the bottom of, yes. If I connect these two, is that a 20-degree angle?
No.
No. So I'm going to connect them and make a 20-degree. Does the one we just made look about half the size of the first angle? Is 20 half of 40? Are you keeping up? Okay. Then I'm going to erase this dot because I didn't use it. Next, we're going to start and make a 95-degree angle starting with this line. 95, is that obtuse or acute? Jackson? Obtuse. So here I go. I'm going to put Bob on the M, line it up here, and I'm looking for 95. Here's 90, so I know 95 would either be here or here. Okay? So if I connect these two, is that going to be an obtuse angle?
Yes.
No. This would be an obtuse angle, the wider of the ones. So, okay. Now remember, it's just barely bigger than 95. So this is, or barely bigger than 90. So that's 95. If I put my paper in the corner, let's make sure that it sticks outside. Does it? Yep. So that's an obtuse angle. Okay. All right. So that's what you should have drawn on your paper. Huh? Move your hand. So you did a 40, a 20, the next one's 95. So you've got your protractor upside down. Okay. 95 is right there. That's 90. It's right there. Starting point for the next thing. So you're going to get rid of that because your 20 degree wasn't the right spot. So we line that up right there. Now we're your starting place to your 95. And 95 is going to be 90. There's 90 and 80. It's going to be between there and 90 and 100. It's going to be right there. So we're going to use the wider to make a 95-degree angle between these places. Okay? Okay. Angle right here is not 95 degrees with this. So this is your 40 right here. This is your 20. Give me your pencil. Okay. So this is your 40-degree angle. This is your 20. And this is supposed to be 95. But that's way smaller than it needs to be. So, okay. In your protractor. So if we line this up right here, and we're looking for 95. And 90 is up here, so 95 is going to be between 90 and 100 and 90 and 80. So, we're widening. Okay, so that's 95. All right. Looks good, looks good, looks good. We're gonna talk. Okay, looks good, looks good. Okay, looks good, looks good. All right, looks good. Get your foot up, you know that. Okay. All right, and then that says, so the last thing we're gonna do is on your marker board. I'm not gonna give you cards. I'm gonna have you make 4 angles on your marker board. One that's less than 35 degrees. One that's somewhere bigger than 35 or between 35 and 80, between 80 and 120, and between 120 and 180. So you're going to do 4 angles on your marker board with your marker and label them A, B, C, and D, and also measure them so that I can see that. So I can look at them and say, okay, so you've got an angle that is this wide, and you're saying that's 135. That's not 135, that's smaller than 90, right? So, all right.